So I recently got the Makera Z1, which is a pretty remarkable desktop CNC machine, and I was looking for an excuse to use the 4th axis. Online, I saw someone had built a tobacco pipe, and I was super inspired. So I went all in, I designed one, I tested it out on a resin board, and it came out pretty lovely. Kind of small, but my actual tool paths worked. So then I tried it on some oak. This is a 2x2 blank, and it worked out really well. Okay, I bought some briar, but then I realized these pieces of briar are basically oddly shaped. They're not perfectly square, and it's impossible to put them in a 4th axis. But I can use double-sided milling. So I picked up some strawberry briar, I picked up some olive wood. They're oddly shaped. We're gonna try double-sided milling and design a pipe that way. Next video, we'll actually use the 4th axis. Let's get to it. So for the longest time, pipes have been predominantly made from briar. An inexpensive alternative to briar is this, olive wood. Olive wood is pretty awesome for 2 reasons. One, it usually has a very beautiful striking grain to it, just like this one does. And it's also fairly heat resistant. So I basically adhere this sacrificial wood to the actual nice olive wood. This is just cheap scrap that I have laying around that I super glue for work holding. The idea is I want to maximize the amount of olive wood so that I don't actually have to hold the wood with my clamps. I can hold the sacrificial wood. And that means I can also design a pipe that goes all the way to the edge of the olive wood and maximize how much wood I'm using. So this is the pipe that I designed to fit specifically within the olive wood blank that I got. It is sort of inspired by, I guess, a bulldog, but also sort of the Nordic freehand style. I know it's kind of ironic that I'm building sort of a freehand style pipe, but I'm designing it in CAD and having a CNC actually build it. So the first step was to create an outline of the stock so I knew what my dimensions were and what my borders were. Then it was simply a question of designing sort of the outline or profile of the actual pipe. So after creating the profile, I'm then making some sketches that overlap. So this is going to be essentially the chamber or bowl. And then I do the same thing for the stem. And then I do the same thing for the midsection. So you can see this is a 3-dimensional sketch that basically gives you all the proper contours. And this will be lofted. And we'll use those 3 points for the loft. And we'll use either the center for the rail or the sides for the rail. I haven't decided yet. So the first thing I'm doing is lofting the top section. It's easier to loft in sections than it is to do the whole thing. And then I'm going to loft the bottom portion. And then for the next pieces, they're just going to be patches. So I simply just patch the top and then patch the stem. And then once it's patched, we can stitch the whole thing together, and that gives us the solid. Now that we have a solid body, we can begin extruding. So the way I build the actual bowl is I build a cylinder, and then I round off the end, which is for the bottom part of the bowl. And then I just do a split body. So essentially it's like this. And then I split the main body with that, and it basically subtracts this from the body. And that's what it looks like with the curved bottom portion. And then here's the pipe all finished. Now I might make some tweaks before I machine. I think it's a little bit too perfect. I want it to be a little bit more elongated. If it was up to me, I wouldn't have perfect circles either. I think perfect circles make it look a little too machined. And if I wanted to get a more freehand look, I kind of loosen up the curves a little bit. Try to make it look a little less computer made, essentially, and I'll give that a shot. I've mounted the wood onto the bed of the Makera Z1. My center line is right here. The first locator is going to go there, the second one here. And so when I flip this for double-sided milling, I'll flip it over on the center line, that's the axis, and then these locator pins will be inserted into identical pockets on the bed. This doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't have to look pretty at all. It's just sacrificial wood that I glue on there very quickly with wood glue and super glue. done with the machining on both sides and I'm really happy the way this came out. So it is possible to design a pipe in CAD and then machine it with double-sided milling. Double-sided milling occurs with these locator pins across the center line, so I'm able to just flip it along that center line axis, and then it machines both sides perfectly. So now what I need to do is remove the pipe from the stock. So there are essentially two tabs here. This tab up here is where the chamber is going to be, so it's perfectly fine for me to add a tab, knowing that there's going to be a hole here. So it's okay that this is a little bit messy and a little bit rough looking, because I'm going to go in the bandsaw and just chop it off right there. And then eventually when we machine the chamber, it's going to be nice and cleaned up. And the same thing goes for the stem. So here we know there's going to be a hole, so I put a tab here. So we're going to just cut this off with a bandsaw. And then once we machine the actual chamber hole for the stem, it'll all clean up nicely. And this is a 0.2 millimeter step over, so it's got a very smooth finish. Just a quick note on the sacrificial waste pieces of wood I applied to the olive. You can see it clearly ate through this section here. So the olive ends here and the olive ends here. I was able to maximize the amount of olive wood that I used for the pipe. And you can see it actually machined through some of this. And the same thing goes for the tab here. So this right here, I don't know, maybe it's some kind of oak or something, but it cut through it. So the end of the olive wood is right there and the sacrificial pieces of wood are here. So this is a great way to maximize the good wood just by super gluing on pieces of sacrificial wood, and that's all I did. Okay, so it's out of the stock, and now really comes down to putting the chamber in and then the hole here for the stem. So my plan is I'm going to 3D print an enclosure for this. So basically I'm going to have the negative shape of this pipe. It's sort of like a two-piece 3D print case that I can squash, and it'll be square. That way I can clamp it. I don't want to clamp this. This is an irregular shape. I mean, I technically could, but I don't want to hurt it. Finished 3D printing the mold or enclosure. This is going to be for machining the chamber and for the stem. In CAD, I was able to take the actual pipe and then make a negative of it and then split this in half. So this is the exact dimensions and geometry of the pipe. So there's the mold, here's the pipe, and it's an exact fit. So this is a precise geometric negative of the pipe. It's perfect in every way. So now I just close it up. And then it sits with a flat bottom if I needed to. But more importantly, it's got the right angle. So I put this angle on it here. So I know that when I'm clamping this, I can put this angle in, which is a 15-degree angle. And then when I'm machining, the actual end mill is coming in straight, even though the pipe's at a 15-degree angle. And I'll get my chamber in perfectly. And then I also have the same thing for the stem. So there's also an angle here. So I can make sure that's at the right angle, clamp it down, and then I can machine the stem hole up here at the top. This is my drill guide. It has a 4mm hole for the 4mm drill bit. And it links up here. It conforms like this. And so this needs to go in at a perfect angle to meet the actual bowl there. And so this will help me guide everything perfectly. Everything should be aligned. all done, and I think it came out quite lovely. So I did buy a pre-made stem, no point in me making one, and I just stuck it on there. Perfect friction fit, just kind of show you. A little hard to come up, but nice tight fit. But here it is. I'm not a smoker. I don't intend to smoke, but these are beautiful pieces of art. And when you look online at some of these pipe makers and these builders, they're making gorgeous pieces of artwork. And I get it. You know, it's fun, it's easy. You can do this freehand, you can use Dremel tools, you can use a lathe. There's so many ways to build one, and there's no rules. So I built this on a CNC, and a lot of people might say, hey, that's cheating, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of thought. And I think this came out really, really well. So I'm gonna build the next one on the 4th axis using this olive wood. This is a perfect square, thank goodness. It should fit right in the chucks, and we're gonna give that a shot. And then down the road, maybe we'll use the strawberry briar to build something small, but then I also have an idea for something big. So I got this olive wood, really pretty grain on it, huge, and I have a crazy idea I want to use with that. So down the road, I have some ideas for at least 3 builds for pipes, and then we'll move on to something else. But this guy's done. Lovely doubly, quite pretty. Beautiful grain on it, black streaks. So the way I finished it was just some wax on the buffer, and it feels so smooth. It looks shiny and glossy. I am going to sell this, so this will be on my store if you're interested in it. I didn't build this pipe for me. I don't smoke. I built this because a lot of my literary heroes smoked a pipe. Tolkien smoked a pipe, C.S. Lewis, Mark Twain. The list goes on. I built this for Tolkien. I built this for Gandalf and Gimli, for Merry and Pippin, and for Frodo and Bilbo. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.